Ooh, baby! Yeah, what's going on, friends? How you doing? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that. Genuinely, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Chelsea News here at the desk. The daily series on here, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I see what's being said about the Blues. And there's a lot, guys. There's a lot to crack into today, so settle in, get comfortable. News, positive, sweet, pungent news regarding the Chelsea, and we're all going to get into it, so settle in and get comfortable. And of course, there's at least one video a day here on Football Therapy, and you can jump on the hype train by subscribing, and you can show your sweet appreciating love by dropping a like. And if you want exclusive nudes, you follow me on Instagram at Football Yannick. Yeah, so today we're talking about an amazing negotiated deal for Jules Kounde. Incredible scenes. 19 million release clause. They didn't want to sell him to 42 million pound. We're going to dip into that. Chelsea have made more sales. Monaco haven't qualified for the Champions League. Therefore, Tchouameni, could he be an option at this point? Matt Law said on the London is Blue podcast, he could be. Lots to get into, and more. I've got it all ready, so make sure you've got a drink in hand. This video is brought to you by OneFootball, the app where you get everything you'll ever need for the sweet footballs. This gives you your, as you can see on the screen there, fixtures, match statistics, predictions there, transfer news, absolutely everything, and it's completely free, mate. I use it every day on the regs. You can too. Click the link in the description. It helps me out a lot as well, so go check out OneFootball. Why wouldn't you? It's free. It's ruddy wicked. Alright then. Let's get into it. Oh, we actually need the window there, so that's a good start. Nice one, Ian. Here we go. That's Tchouameni. We're not going to start with him, but we are going to talk about him in a moment. Ike Ugbo leaves Chelsea for Genk. So I thought this was going to be a loan, but Chelsea have made yet another sale in this transfer market. Incredible amounts of players flying out the window. We all know Ike Ugbo from his loans. Of course, he scored a nice goal in pre-season with Armando Broja, who, by the way, Broja scored 2 goals yesterday in Southampton's EFL Cup game, which is great for him. Ike Ugbo has completed a permanent transfer to Chelsea to Belgium side KRC Genk. So yeah, excuse me, I think he actually got a few goals, and I think he's gone for a few million. As you can see there, he scored 17 goals in 34 games last season. 1 and 2 basically, and they might not all be starts, so that's pretty darn good. Obviously, Ike Ugbo joins the likes of Zappa Costa, who's gone to Atalanta, glitchy transition. Obviously Michy Batshuayi and Emerson Palmieri have both gone to Lyon and Besiktas respectively, but on loans. We've obviously sold, Abraham, we've sold Giroud, we've sold Tamori, Gurhi, Victor Moses. Chelsea have gone chicken oriental with their sales this summer. And that's good, because we had an absolutely crazy bloated squad. We're generating loads and loads of revenue. I'm going to sip my coffee. Look at that mug, mate. Oh, can you see it? Warning, may spontaneously start talking about football. Tres lols. But while I'm speaking French, let's get down to business, baby. And let's address that transition page at one point. Alright, this is off the Metro. This story has originally come from Di Marzio. Chelsea agree £42 million deal to sign Jules Kounde as Kurt Zouma's move to West Ham comes under threat, which is interesting because the narrative up until this point was for Jules Kounde to be completed, Chelsea needed to sell Kurt Zouma, not just for the finances, but also because the emergence of Trevor Chalobah to be utilised in the squad. Remember, Tuchel said himself, we're keeping Chalobah. I want him in the squad. Those words. So, with that, we've got too many centre-backs, even though he's play free. Chelsea are on the verge of completing a €50 million move, brackets £42 million move to sign Sevilla centre-back Jules Kounde, despite their deal to sell Kurt Zouma to West Ham coming close to collapsing on Wednesday evening, which of course was last night. Très dramatique. Kounde has been Chelsea's top target to strengthen Thomas Tuchel's defensive options this summer, but the European champions have needed to offload at least one central defender before the deal could be finalised. Remember, before the emergence of Trevor Chalobah, you had people like Simon Johnson of The Athletic saying, regardless to what happens with Zouma, they'll sign Kounde. But now, things are different. Chelsea had agreed a £25.6 million fee with West Ham for Zouma earlier this week, but the French defender's wage demands were proving a major stumbling block. Widespread reports on Wednesday evening claimed that negotiations between Zouma's agents and West Ham had reached a breaking point, and the deal was under threat of being called off. Oh man. However, talks resumed later on Wednesday evening. They probably all went out, had a cigarette, do you know what I mean? Had a coffee, and they were like, let's just get this done, boys. And both clubs are still have hope that an agreement can be reached. A medical for Zouma, which was scheduled for Thursday in Paris. Why in Paris? Why? You're both are London clubs. You like the district line. Do you know what I mean? Just jump on the tube. Why do you need to go to another country to do a medical? I've never understood that. Never. And it will be West Ham's people as well, because they're the ones doing the medical. So why send them to us? It's just mental, especially in a pandemic thing. A medical for Zouma, which is scheduled for in Paris, has not been cancelled. That's good, according to French broadcaster TF1. TF1. Meanwhile, Gianluca Di Marzio reports Chelsea have pressed ahead with their efforts to sign Kounde, and a €50 million (£42 million) deal plus bonuses has now been agreed. Elsewhere, Chelsea F.C. So I'm just going to talk about Saúl Ñíguez. Manchester United are also keen on Saul. Alright, so we'll talk about Saul in just a moment, but let's talk about defenders. People are split on Jules Kounde, especially with the fact how Trevor Chalobah looks incredible. But I don't think it's one or the other. I think I still stand by what I said before. I subscribe to the concept of Thomas Tuchel has an idea of how he wants to play. He's a very systemic guy. He's and that starts at the back. I don't know why I'm pointing a pen at you, but if he gets like an idea of, right, this player can offer this in transition, in build up, in shape, it's not about not conceding goals, it's about what players can offer, and I think he really sees something he likes in Jules Kounde. Obviously, the same with Trevor Chalobah, because it was Tuchel. It's important to remember, it was Tuchel that looked at Chalobah and says, yes, I'll have a bit of that, I'm going to play him in pre-season. Yeah, I'll have a bit of that, I'm going to play him in the Super Cup, I'm going to play him in the first game of the season. No one was putting pressure on him to do that. Trevor Chalobah's had he's not a high profile player at all. He's had a few loans, but he was just one of the guys. This guy's played a lot of first team football on loans, still very young, play him if you want, if not we'll loan him. And it was Tuchel that picked him out, and he's the one who said, yes please. And it's up to the club now to put Trevor Chalobah on a new deal. So Tuchel wants both. He wants Kounde and he wants Chalobah, so everyone needs to get on board with that. And, it's just the logistics now of selling Zouma, I guess. And, making sure that we've got room in the squad for all these defenders and people are going to play. Right, we are going to talk about Saul, but before we do, I want to quickly talk about Monaco. So, yesterday, they lost their Champions League qualifier in actual mental fashion, by the way. So, it's 2-2 in extra time. I think it will be going to, penalties or something. And Ruben Aguilar, he scored a mental own goal. The ball's going towards our own goal on the break. A guy plays a ball in, like a sort of straight vertical pass, and he sort of it hits his foot and he kicks it and loops the goalkeeper and it goes in, and it's an own goal in stoppage time to I think it's stoppage time, 114th minute. To essentially see Shakhtar Donetsk through, and Monaco are eliminated from the Champions League, which means this guy could potentially be sold because Monaco do not have the finance revenue income from a Champions League campaign. Now, Matt Law, of course, of The Telegraph, went on Londoners Blue podcast, your friend and mine, the American Chelsea fans, to speak about transfers and stuff, as he often does on that podcast. And he said, look, if Monaco get eliminated from the Champions League, don't rule out Tchouameni's price dropping and him being sold this summer Remember, he is a target for many elite European clubs. PSG want him. I think, what was it, Camavinga, mainly they're looking at. Certainly Tchouameni's targeted by like Chelsea, Man United, some other clubs. And the fact how they haven't qualified for the Champions League. Maybe now they're like, right, well, let's get £30 million or £25 million, which for a rich club like Monaco, you think they wouldn't care about that. But maybe they do. Maybe they do that. So that's an interesting situation to talk about, because Chelsea are looking for that midfielder. But with Tchouameni, it would be a long-term thing. He's young. This obviously brings the new questions about Billy Gilmour, about the same age. You know, Billy Gilmour's is absolutely proven he can do it in English football. Yes, Tchouameni might be an amazing player to bring in for the future, and maybe that's enough. But it does pose those new questions. So, fine. A lot of people, and including me, the more I thought about this, Saul of Atletico, he signed a 9-year deal. He's on $250,000 a week, and Atletico is seemingly trying to get him out the door. But he is a great player, and a loan with an option to buy is such a uniquely good situation for Chelsea at the moment, because they can watch Billy Gilmour from afar. They can watch Declan Rice from afar. Do you know what I mean? And maybe even Tchouameni if he stays at Monaco, and then make the decision in a year's time when all of their values go down and all of them become cheaper. And, you know, we can have a good look at actually how Saul has performed for us. This ruddy transition. Okay, so let's have a look. Well, he said yesterday, he doesn't sleep, this guy, I swear. Chelsea are not including a permanent or obligation to buy in Saul deal. As of now, official proposal is loan with buy option. No bid from Man United. Only talks. Chelsea are close to completing the Bakayoko to Milan deal. 20 million. Oh yes, that's a loan. 20 million buy option. That's pretty good considering he's extending until 2023. So that's really good. More smart business from Chelsea, extending Bakayoko for an additional year, I guess. So 2 years to go from now. Retaining his value, offering Tamui himself a little bit more job security, payment security. Just more excellent business from Chelsea and Marina Granovskaya. But Chelsea are not including permanent obligation to buy Saul. This is really smart. So they really, I think they're in a position of strength here, Chelsea, because they go to Atletico Madrid. You want this guy's wages off your books. I heard on some podcast, I can't remember which one. He's playing. Oh, it might have been Matt Law as well. Anyway, I digress. He's been playing like right back for Atletico Madrid when he's like an elite midfielder. That's probably because they're just trying to shoehorn him into the team at the moment. I think they are quite keen to get him out the door and relieve themselves of his wages for a little bit, and also, you know, increase his value as an asset if he performs well for, say, I don't know, the champions of Europe in Chelsea. And then Chelsea's all right, we'll buy him for, 40, 50 million or whatever, if he's truly elite, or like a 40 million like a Kovacic, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, if he performs well, great. Elite, he's like Mateo Kovacic all over again, and then buy him. If he doesn't, send him back. We've got Gilmour, we've got Declan Rice to try and buy. So many different options, and I think that puts us in a really good position of strength. But so let's do a little roundup. The Zouma deal is stalling, but it nearly fell apart last night, but apparently it's back together. Jules Kounde fee agreed, which is massive, really, really good, really, really affordable as well. Tchouameni could be an option because Monaco hasn't qualified for the Champions League. Ike Ugbo is out the door. Bakayoko is about to be out the door, and Saul loan deal could be on with an option to buy, which is a really, really good position for Chelsea. Let me know what you think. Of course, keep it locked. I'm going to be following all the stories really closely and uploading as soon as I can to give you guys updates. So you subscribe and make sure you have the old bell notifications icon switched on. I'd thank you all for dropping a like on your way out, because it does help me out in my work here on YouTube. And please do go click the link in the description for OneFootball. It's totally free and it's wicked. I'm using it on the regs. Alright guys, enjoy the football and I'll see you soon.